Our next guest is Karen Jagoda. Karen is the president of the eVoter Institute, and she's the host of Digital Politics Radio. And she's also one of the regular contributors to None of the Above. Karen has a unique niche in the market where she's educating people on how to use the internet as a political tool. And what we're doing on a weekly basis is coming up with a new topic that Karen wants to introduce to our viewers that'll help them start this educational process and become more involved in understanding the value of the internet as a great democratic tool and its value to voters. So Karen, what do you have for us today? What's today's highlight?
Well, today I really wanted to strike on the issue of building relationships and building your lists. No matter whether you're working with a big campaign or a small campaign, the idea of having a list is extremely important. And you can't start too soon and you can't start too small. So just a small list can really blossom quickly if you ask people to share your email, to send an email, to include an email from you in some of their communication. And the idea of email lists is really still key because so many people are thinking, well, I'll just get a lot of people to like me on social media or a lot of people to follow me on Twitter. But it's much more difficult to get their attention on social media than it is to just send them an email. But the question is, how often do you send them and what do you ask them to do when you send it? And the idea there is to really do some testing. Look for different kinds of titles and test out different kinds of messages, whether they're short messages, long messages, asking people to show up at an event or to come and have some discussions with the candidate. But the idea of reaching out and building the relationships is key right from the earliest days. And so many people think they can just turn this on at a very sort of appropriate time when they need money. But you can't build trust that way, and you can't really build a solid list that way. So this really builds into this question of cross-media and how does it fit with direct mail and with robocalls, because this is an individual kind of communication environment. So a lot of the guests on my digitalpoliticsradio.com show talk about the ways to target using these lists to find different things that appeal to different kinds of people on the list. And by finding out what people open when they're looking at their email, you can really fine-tune the message. And I'll just mention one fellow that was on my show recently, David Gold from Gold Communications, did a big study about email lists and direct mail lists and getting out the Hispanic vote. And extremely interesting how effective direct mail can be to turn out the vote, particularly in a very close election. And I think you can't just get those people's attention by kind of willy-nilly sending stuff out, but you really have to fine-tune these lists and understand who you're reaching out to and who you're communicating with. So again, building relationships, building lists, a good place to start, even if you're just thinking about running. No time like the present to start collecting those names.
And of course, Karen, what you just talked about is someone who might be wanting to run for office, but a lot of this could be used at the local level where there's a school board issue or a local issue and someone wants to build a consensus around their issue. You had the same techniques, correct?
Absolutely. This is all about finding your friends and family and people who are interested in supporting your efforts. So you don't want to overburden them, you don't want to pester them, but you want to have quality names on your list of people you can really reach out to and get them to turn out at a school board meeting or to sign a petition or to send money to support a candidate in a local district race that a particular person on the school board thinks is really important in a local office. So absolutely, this is not just for candidates, but this is for people who are trying to help candidates, trying to help advocates, trying to help people in their local communities change things.
Karen, thank you as always.